All right, today we're going to do the driver's log for truck 7039. This driver's log needs to be filled out every day, and in case you do switch trucks in the middle of the day, you want to make sure that you fill this out as well. So we'll take a look at that. This top section here, we want to make sure we have the date, the driver name, the vehicle number, the start odometer, your payroll start, leave yard, lunch start, lunch end, the time that you return to the yard, and the job start location. We'll go through all of these is what we're going to check in this video so that you know how to do that. And here is note any deficiencies. So any problems with the trucks that you have, you want to write them there, and the manager or supervisor can make sure that they are fixed. So the first thing we'll do is pop the hood. We'll check and make sure this driver door is okay. It does. It opens fine. Down here by your left foot is going to be the latch to open up the hood. You're going to pull that towards you. You're going to hear the hood pop, and we'll move to the front. So once we get to the front of the truck, in the center here is the latch. We're going to lift that up towards the left, and it's going to allow the hood to come up. So we'll start left to right. We'll take a look at the air box, make sure that it's intact. It is, that it's locked, it's secure. In front of that is your battery, making sure that the terminals are on tight and they're connected. Looks good. Check for any corrosion. This has a little bit, may want to put a wire brush on it just to make sure that the connection is good, but overall we're good here. Moving directly over will be our oil. You'll see that it's the dipsticks here. It's yellow. It's got a circle on it. And pull that out. This is going to be checked when the truck is not on. That's the best way that the only way that you're going to be able to check this. So first we're going to wipe it off. We'll stick it back in so that we can get a good reading here. All right, it's in. Pull it back out. Take a look. And this oil is low. So in case that it's low here, we'll put this dipstick back in. We're going to find out what type of oil it takes, which we're going to see right here. On the cap, it says 5W30. We're going to take this cap off. We'll put a funnel in there, and we'll slowly put a little bit in. So this looked like at least a quart. So we would put a small amount in, then pull the dipstick back out again to make sure that we're not overfilling it. All right, and then directly behind that, we've got a transmission dipstick here. This one's yellow as well. It's shaped differently. It also has it labeled on here. It says transmission fluid, and it says use Mercon LV. This needs to be checked when the truck is running. We want to make sure the engine's warm. Then you're going to need to get into the cab of the truck, put it in gear, and then come back out and check it. Same thing. Pull the dipstick, wipe it off, stick it back in, and make sure that we've got a good reading on the transmission. In the center here, we've got our belt, serpentine belt. You want to make sure that that is intact. It's not falling off. It's not ripped, torn. That looks good. While we're up here, we can check our hoses, make sure that they're connected, they're not leaking, they're not off. Everything looks good here. It's a visual inspection that you want to take a look at. In front, we've got our power steering fluid. If you can't see, on the side it's got a minimum maximum level. If you need to, you take it off and take a look inside. This is right in the center, so we are good there for the power steering. Moving down, we've got our windshield washer fluid in the front. Looks good. Directly behind that is your coolant. It's got a minimum maximum level, where it looks like we're good at that level, but if you needed to add, we want to make sure that the truck is not running, because this is under pressure when you take this off. This will be a 50-50 pre-mix that you want to put in there when you do add, but just make sure that the truck is not on and this is under pressure. It can cause problems, so we don't want to do that. Directly behind that is your brake fluid. Same thing, minimum maximum level. You can see this is at a good level. If you had to, you would take the cap off and you would be able to fill it. On these caps, it does tell you what type of fluid it takes. This says .4, so if you needed some, .4 is what you would put in there. You've got your steering linkage. This one's kind of easy to get into, but you can see it's intact. You just want to make sure everything's okay with it. Looks good. So overall, this is an inspection of underneath the hood. Everything looks good, so we're going to move to inside the cab. All right, so once you get into the cab of the truck, you want to make sure that you have your driver's license on you and your medical card with you. And now we will go over the inside of the cab here. So on this truck, we've got our lights here on the left-hand side. You can see the dial here. This is off, and then you've got your parking and your lights on full. Start the truck up. Make sure our gauges work. Which they do. So we are good there. Directly over to the right, we've got our AC and heat. This will be the power to turn that on. This will be the fan speed. This will be the temperature. Hot is in the red. Cold is in the blue. This is our radio for the truck. This is your 4-ways. I can see on the dash that they're working, and then we will check that when we get outside. Down by my feet on the right, we've got a beacon switch, as well as the power to the arrow board for this truck. So this still needs to be put in place. We're working on this, but this will be down there for that. So when you turn that on, this will give you beacons and arrow board. When I did hit that, it gave us the power here for the arrow board. There's an on and off switch. When you click on, you can see that the red light comes on and shows you that. And then there's a display here to tell you what is on the board outside. And currently we have the 4 dots. But if I did change it, you can see that it's changing now. Arrow. So we'll go back to 4 dots, and when we get out, we will check that. Now that we're inside the truck here, we'll check the visual inspection of the windshield, and it does look good. We can check the horn. We can check the windshield wipers with the fluid. Good there. Check our mirrors. These mirrors you would have to manually move with your hand. So once you get it to where you want, that's where it would be. Mirror on that side, you can see that we have a crack in that, so we're going to put that down in our deficiencies, that there's a crack in the passenger side mirror, so that can get fixed. But same thing for that, you'd have to use your hand to adjust that to get it where you want. Down by my left foot is the emergency brake for this truck. You would just push that all the way to the floor, and it will let you know on the dash there that the brake has been engaged. When you want to let that loose, there's a release button right here, brake release, you can see. It pops that, and then you can see on the dash that it's no longer sitting there anymore. For these windows on this truck, they're roll up, so we're just going to make sure that the window rolls up properly and goes down properly, and it does. All right, so now we are going to get outside the truck here, and we're going to check to make sure that everything is working properly. All right, so once we get to the front of the truck here, we're going to make sure the headlights work. And they do. High beams, they do. Left turn signal, right turn signal, 4-ways. So we're good there. You can see that the beacon lights are working. And now we will head to the back of the truck and do the same thing. All right. And obviously this is something you can do on your own. I have help with me now, but this is all things you can do on your own. Left turn signal, right turn signal, 4-ways, brake, good, reverse, good. We can see that our arrow board is working properly and our beacons like we said before. So now we will do the outside inspection here. Since I'm already towards the back here, we'll just do it from this section and go back around. So basically we just want to take a visual inspection, make sure everything is good and intact, that the toolbox isn't going to open up. That's good. We're going to check our gas. This one doesn't have the cover on it, but it still does shut. Make sure our gas cap is intact, which it is. It's tethered on so we don't lose it when we're filling up. Make sure after we're done filling that we do hear a click that it's back on. This takes gas only. This will get a label that says gasoline only to make sure of that. Head to the back of the truck. We'll take a look at the tires. They're hard. We want to make sure that we're going to look at the tread. Looks like this tire is going to need to be replaced. The tread is not great on it, so that'll be something that we'll look into. You can check the rotor. If you can see in there with a flashlight, this cap does come off. You can check the lugs to make sure that they're tight, they're not loose. While you're down here, you're going to check your leaf springs, shocks, make sure that nothing's hanging, nothing's broken, everything's intact. Looks good here, so we'll keep moving. Once we get to the back, I didn't say it before, but we'll check to make sure that our license plate lights do work, and they do, so that's good. Our hitch, which is going to end up having an arrow board sign in the back, we're going to make sure that that's intact, and it is. That our tailgate opens and closes, it does. Now we come to the back tire here. Visual inspection that there is air in the tire, that's good. The tire itself definitely needs to be replaced, as I can see here. You could tell that it has no tread on the front here, so this one will definitely be replaced. This would be something that you would absolutely write on your deficiencies. While we're down here, rotors, again, you could pop this off and check the lugs to make sure that they're not loose. Leaf springs, anything broken, hanging, shocks, looks good. Same thing on this side, toolbox, we're good. Arrow board, good. Check the doors. Good. We did say the deficiency for this mirror, it's cracked. So we're going to make sure that gets replaced. Now we're up to the front. Same thing. Tires hard. Got good tread on the front here. Rotors, brakes, lugs. Make sure they're not loose, tight. Shocks. Any wires hanging, any leaking from the engine, you'd be able to see from here. Your brake lines, just be gentle, don't be pulling on them, just making sure that everything's intact. We look good here. Last but not least, tire, same thing again. Kick it, make sure we're good. Got air in it. Rotors, brakes, lugs, that they're tight. Shocks, springs, and we are good there. And that will conclude the video for Truck 7039.